Today's episode of Desertwood Days with Kathy Blaze is sponsored by Dork Publishing, expanding minds through fantasy since 2018. Learn more at the Dork Publishing website, www.dorcpublishing.com.
I wanna visit all the places nobody goes. I wanna teach all the things that nobody knows. I wanna grow wings, leave the coop, learn to fly. Bungee jump from the tallest building in Dubai. I wanna fly around town in my UFO. I wanna eat real food, not the GMOs. I wanna make moves, call the shots like the boss. I wanna love like I never lost.
Welcome back to Desertwood Days. I told you that we were going to be bringing back some of the movers and shakers from the Valley, and today we have Miss Clottee Hammons. Hey, welcome back.
Hello, my dear. So nice to be with you.
Good to see you, and don't you look beautiful?
Thank you. Likewise.
Thank you. I love that yellow.
Thank you. It's the color of hope.
And we need plenty of that right now.
Amen.
Yes, we do. So we had you here season 1, which is such a pleasure to learn about some of the things that you have been doing in the Valley. So from that point on, I know that you're busy, always doing something. So, because we see you as a staple in the Valley. You've been here in Arizona for many years doing a lot of things, bringing hope to others.
Thank you.
Creating things in the Valley. You're an artist,
Yes.
so you're creative. So you've been doing a lot here in the Valley. Tell us some. I want to just touch base on some of the things that we spoke about last time. You were a part. Well, I guess you created the Emancipation, the book that you created last season.
The
Can you tell-
anthology.
Yes. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. I published an anthology, and it was an outgrowth of another project. And the project is The Great Migration: Indiscernibles in Arizona. And that is the study of how Black people came to Arizona
Mm-hmm.
and why we stay.
Right.
And so I got writers to contribute their stories about their experiences
Mm-hmm.
being Black in Arizona in collaboration with the Virginia G. Piper School of Creative Writing.
Right.
So we had some very diverse migration stories and
Yes.
stories of just, what it's like to be Black in Arizona.
Yeah, you know what, and I was blessed to be a part of that, and we have all these huge mirage of stories, that reasons why our ancestors came here, and today we think, I used to say, why they come here? It's too hot here. I used to ask my grandma, why y'all move here?
Right.
But they had different dreams. I mean, the dreams that they had was so, we can't even touch it.
Actually, we have to touch it to know our history because nobody here is teaching it.
Well, that's true. That is
Okay.
very true. But the dream, that when I say we can't touch it, the dream, what I mean by that is that it was so big for them. It was so big. It meant a lot. It meant taking care of us and putting things in place for us.
Absolutely.
And that's when I mean that it was so big.
Many Black people came here because they were recruited to
Mhm.
come to Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about the 5 C's, they had Black people in every aspect of that, and in lumber and in various infrastructure building. And where Black people were recruited from were some of the most heinous instances of lynching and torture and terrorism. They came from Oklahoma,
Mm.
Arkansas,
Mm-hmm.
and Texas.
Right.
Okay, and they were recruited in the 1930s. The Farm Labor Service had agents to go out and distribute handbills.
Mm.
Okay, and the McNary Lumber Company, okay, actually loaded people onto a train and brought them here from Louisiana.
Mm.
So when we talk about why people left or what their dreams were, probably a lot of their dreams involved a good night's sleep.
Mm, mm. Well, and one of the reasons why we're talking about today, talking to Clottee and about what she's done here in Arizona community, because we're calling this is our celebratory show for Juneteenth, and we want to make sure that, as she stated, we don't forget about our history and
Absolutely.
what our ancestors have gone through and what a lot of us are still going through. So we want to make sure that these things are still in the forefront and we know what's going on. But as far as today, Clottee, I know that you have a gallery, a display down in Phoenix, and I'm sorry, and in Heritage Square.
I have an exhibit at Heritage Square, but I'm also the curator at the Phoenix Center for the Arts in the
Okay.
Larry Wilson Gallery.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about your display at the Heritage Square?
Yeah, the exhibit at Heritage Square is the Great Migration Indiscernibles in Arizona, and I call us indiscernibles because we are never seen as refugees,
Mm,
migrants, or freedmen.
mm,
Okay, and so it really looks at the history of beginning in the 1930s how Black people came to Arizona
mm,
and goes into the trajectory of today. So we look at the housing situation, we look at the medical care, we look
right,
at various aspects of being Black in Arizona.
right.
And COVID said it was originally intended as a traveling exhibition, but COVID said, nope, you're going to stay where you are.
Mm-hmm.
And so I created a workshop online as a companion for that for teachers and homeschool educators and just anybody interested in
Right,
Arizona history.
right.
Okay, so one of tying back to your Juneteenth, one of the reasons that we celebrate Juneteenth in Arizona is because so many people migrated here from Texas,
Mm-hmm.
which is where Juneteenth started. And
That
uh,
is so true.
so many people want to celebrate Juneteenth, but they don't really know the true
Mm,
significance of that. And I
mm-hmm.
call it Reprieve Day because when Black people came to this country, we were prisoners.
Mm,
And Juneteenth is an acknowledgement of when Major General Granger rode into Galveston, Texas, and told people that you're free now.
right.
Okay, that was a reprieve. But he also said that you can't just be hanging around. You got to go back and be employed. Well, where would you be employed?
Right.
But the very people that kept you
Enslaved.
enslaved
Right.
despite the Emancipation Proclamation.
Right. You know what? And I know a lot of people don't want to hear these things. They want to, oh, well, it's better now. But you know what? For a lot of people, it's not better now. Okay. So, but as Clottee just said, we can't forget our history. In order to move forward, we have to remember our history. So, Clottee just told us, I want to know, what does Juneteenth mean to you?
Like I said, it means reprieve day. Certain people were reprieved, okay? And in the process of them getting reprieved, the slaveholders received reparations for the
Mm,
loss of their property,
mm,
okay? So essentially, it's an acknowledgement that people were illegally enslaved, incarcerated, if you will.
mm-hmm.
And then there was a bigger effort to say, okay, in keeping with the international times, because England was involved and the Caribbean and, numerous countries were involved. And so, in keeping with that, the U.S. wanted to stay abreast of what was happening economically. And they said, okay, we got to let these Negroes go, but we're going to keep them in other ways, which is why we had sharecropping and um, incarceration of people for that were just lingering despite the
Right.
13th and 14th
Right.
Amendments.
One thing I will say, And one thing that I love about what I learned from Clottee, if you want to know your history and want to know about your fellow man's history, you need to see Clottee and some of her exhibits because she keeps it real, okay? So, I mean, there's no fluffing. She keeps it real. I know that we're in a time when people want to hush things up in our school systems and they don't want to teach our kids the truth, but Clottee keeps it real. So, Miss Clottee, we were talking about your display over at Heritage Square, but you also have a gallery over at is it Phoenix Center for the Arts?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what you have there and what that represents.
Well, I'm really proud to be the curator of this gallery. It's the Larry Wilson Gallery. It is the only gallery in Phoenix named after a Black artist.
Oh, okay.
And Larry Wilson was not only a friend, Larry Wilson was instrumental in providing the opportunity for numerous artists to exhibit their work, particularly Black artists, because we have nowhere to show what we do. Okay. And Larry was one of the directors of the Phoenix Center for the Arts, so he established numerous programs so people could come in and learn to create art.
Right.
And so the gallery is in his honor. And it was closed for 2 years, and we just reopened last month.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. So you brought some media for us to take a look at. Why don't we take a look at that and then we come on back because I got some more good questions for you.
Okay.
So what do we have here?
We're looking at some embroidery work. The current exhibition is called Reflective Threads. And I came up with that idea because embroidery and poetry, it's a combination of work. And embroidery and poetry have the commonality of creating images with a point and threaded images. Okay. And so you're seeing a piece right now called Swing by Cindy Dash, and she is just a phenomenal embroidery artist.
Is she local?
She's local.
Oh, okay.
She is local. Absolutely. Cindy is very accomplished in many, many ways. But
beautiful.
Yes, her work can be very playful. It can also be very profound.
I love it. It reminds me of my daughter's hair after I've watched it. Curly, and I just love it. Okay, what do we have here?
And I love this piece because it shows movement. Each figure is its own personality, and it's called When We Are Here. And it's just a celebration.
Yes.
But she does so many other types of embroidery, obviously floral pieces, and just statements about human consciousness, human awareness.
So it's all embroidered. So is embroidered, is it the stitching? Is it colored stitching, or does she still use paint with it also?
No, she does not paint anything. This is strictly
completely
stitched.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. And embroidery is considered a craft, and when somebody calls something a craft, they consider it a lesser art. But you can see that is truly fine art.
Right. That's beautiful. A lot of work.
Absolutely.
Yes. That is X art right there.
Yes.
There's no taking that away from. Beautiful.
And so I'm very proud to show her work. And in conjunction with that, we have poems by Jack Evans. And Jack has been just a icon in Phoenix for decades. Before Phoenix considered itself an arts district downtown, Jack Evans was there with Art Lab 16 and poets and performance art and and supporting other people. Right.
That's amazing.
Yes.
So do you have those pieces up in your gallery?
Yes, they are currently on exhibit in the gallery, and I'm there Wednesday through Saturday from 11 to 4.
Oh,
So
okay.
I try to make it as accessible as possible.
Okay. So, Clotie, you are also an artist yourself. So, what are you contributing to the gallery?
Honey, my time, my sweat,
Other
my
than your
muscle,
time.
but I also bring in those artists that
Uh-huh.
you would not normally see,
Right.
and give them an opportunity to
Mm.
show their work and give Phoenix an opportunity to
Yes.
appreciate something other than the same old, same old.
Yes. And I say this all the time. That is why I love this show, because we get to bring in people like you, or people that Arizona wouldn't know or see, because Arizona is so darn cliquish.
Yeah, absolutely.
People are in pockets all over the place, and the
Absolutely.
right hand don't know what the left hand is doing. Which, if we came together, we can be so powerful and help each other out. We
And you
could
know, Kathy, actually, sometimes the right hand is holding the left hand down.
that too.
Okay,
That too.
so
That's true. So, Clotie, people may say, well, who is this lady and why is she saying all this stuff? But Clotie, you have been around for a long time. A long time. I know you worked here years ago and you moved away. What was some of the things? What got you started in, say, your industry? What got you started doing what you're an activist or what you're doing?
is actually what got me started is just the necessity to assert myself. I went to ASU, and my work was not. I mean, I literally had a professor push me out of the way to put somebody else in my place.
Hmm.
And I said, okay, there's nobody going to stick up for me. So I had to learn to stick up for myself.
Right.
And then when I had a child, okay, and saw how he was treated, I became much more assertive.
Right.
The people probably that I went to grammar school and high school with will remember that I was very quiet and blah, blah, blah. But when I had a son
Mm-hmm.
and I saw how he was treated, it was like,
Yeah.
no.
Bring out that mama bear.
And also just the experience of not having the opportunity to be included.
Right.
So I said, you know what? If I have to make the money to do what I need to do, then that's what I'll do.
And you're not only an artist. You are out here in our community representing the people and speaking out and doing things. What takes you to what takes you to that level?
You know, there are so many. If you look at our media, okay, the necessity for shows like you are doing, and I have to congratulate you on being so expansive in who you include. We don't see that. And, when we were talking about being indiscernible, that's a part of being indiscernible. When we talk about the right hand holding the left hand down,
Right.
okay, that's a part of it. If you go around town and you see these opportunity zones, you don't see us working hardly ever on them.
Mm.
And you rarely see black contractors. So it's necessity that
Right.
drives me.
You know what? We all have a story to tell that benefits another person or benefits a community as a whole. We all have a story to tell. You mentioned, excuse me, Galveston, Texas. You mentioned Oklahoma. I'm a native Arizonian, but my lineage comes from Texas.
Mhm.
That's where my grandparents were born. My father was born in Oklahoma.
Mhm.
They left from Oklahoma to Arizona.
Mhm.
And then I used to say, well, I just come to Arizona. But I know the reasons why they came to Arizona.
Right.
So, I mean, this is just a huge circle. And as you stated, we can't forget. We need to keep informing. We need to keep talking. We need to continue to have venues and places like this where you can come and sit on Desertwood Days couch and talk about what's going on in our community, who the new artists are, what's going on, where there's a lack. What can Desertwood Days do to help in some of these areas? What can Clottee do to help in other areas? But we have to continue to celebrate. You know, it is not all doom and gloom. There's a lot of good things going on, just like the artists you mentioned here today.
Absolutely.
Just like yourself.
Thank you.
There's a lot. Without people like you, we wouldn't be able to know about this amazing lady here. And please tell me her name again.
Cindy Dash.
Cindy Dash. We wouldn't know about Miss
Absolutely.
Cindy Dash.
Absolutely.
Well, we thank you so much for coming here and celebrating Juneteenth with us. It's such a pleasure. And get over there and see the display at Heritage Square. Get over to Phoenix Center of the Arts for the gallery. Get out there and check out Clottee and see all that she's doing in the community, because she's here to celebrate you. Thank you for joining us here at Desertwood Days, and we will catch you next time.
Today's episode of Desertwood Days with Clottee Blaze was sponsored by Dork Publishing. Visit them at dorkpublishing.com.